Okay, hi grade nines. Um, we're going to tackle this question, and this is going to be wrong. So I'm going to put this right up on the top. There is a mistake. Okay, okay. So I don't want you to write this down because there's a mistake, but I want you to follow so you can see a couple of things and how they make a difference when you're doing your algebra. Okay? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, because this is a really ugly question, is I'm going to make everything into an improper fraction. So I get 23 over 4 minus 2 over 5b equals 3 over 2 times b minus 5 over 6 in brackets plus 18 over 7. All right, and because this is fractions, I I'm going to do one thing this time. There's a couple of things that I like. I could, sometimes I do some things, multiple things at the same time. But because I have numbers and letters on both sides, there's no point in me, for example, getting rid of this 18 over 7 and moving it to the left side because I don't actually know where I'm going to end up with it wanting to be. And I know that I'm going to come out with another number or just a constant term out of this distribution. So this is the only thing I'm going to do this step. So I've got 23 over 4 minus 2 over 5b equals 3 over 2b minus 15 over 12 plus 18 over 7. And now I've got, I'm going to move since I've got two constant terms on the right and only one on the left, it makes more sense to me to move this constant over to the right. So I'm going to use some colors here just to show you. So minus 23 over 4 and minus 23 over 4. But at the same time, I'm going to subtract my 3 over 2b and subtract my 3 over 2b and cross that out. So one thing I want you to see here is that, now you don't have to do both of these in the same step, but mathematicians are lazy, so if I can do it at the same time, I'm going to do it at the same time. But I think this really shows where the value in crossing out what you've canceled, like why you put it in there, is really helpful, because otherwise I'm not really sure what I'm retaining on each side. Okay, but because I've crossed that out, I know that this is what's left. I have negative 2 over 5b minus 3 over 2b equals, that's gone, so minus 15 over 12 plus 18 over 7 minus 23 over 4. On the left side, I know I can see that I'm going to need a common denominator of 10, so this is going to be something over 10b minus something else over 10b. And 5 times 2, so negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and times 5, so times 5, that's 15. I didn't need to do the negative 3 because I already have the negative here. Okay. And on this side, my common denominator is going to be, you know what? I actually didn't notice this when I did this before, but I notice now that I can reduce my 15 over 12. So I'm going to put it over here instead. So that's going to be minus, I can divide both of them by 3, so that's minus 5 over 4. And then I'm just going to cross that out. Okay, so this is equivalent to what it was before, right? It just looks a little bit different. And my common denominator here is going to be 28. So I've got something over 28 minus something else over 28 minus something else over 28. So times 4, 18 times 4 is 72. And 123 times 7 is 161. And 5 times 7 is 35. All right, so on the left side, I have negative 19 over 10b. And on the right side, I have 72 minus 161 minus 35. Oops. 72 minus 161 minus 35 is negative 124 over 28. And I can multiply this side by negative 10 over 19, and those cancel. And then I'm going to multiply this side by negative 10 over 19. Okay, and then I get b equals, and I'm going to take a stab at, does 124 divide by 19? Nope, it doesn't. Darn. So, but this divides by 2, so this becomes 5, and this divides by 2, so that's 14. So I get, and I can reduce this. Those both divide by, well, let's see if 124 divides, well, it's not going to divide by 14, but it might divide by 7. Nope. So I can divide them by 2. So 124 divided by 2 is 62. So this is, my negatives are going to cancel. So this is 62 over 7 times 5 over 19. So I get b equals 65 times, or sorry, 62 times 5 is 310, and 7 times 19 is 133. And there were a lot of calculations in there, so I need to check my answer. So I'm going to do that on this calculator I have over here on the left, on the right side here. Does this get bigger? And so I'm just going to show you what I'm going to type in. I'm going to go back up to my question here. Let me just put this up here so I can have it all on the same screen. 310 over 133. 6 3/4, that I know is 6.75, minus 2 divided by 5 is 0.4, so this is 0.4 times 310 divided by 133. And that is the left side of my equation. Now this calculator happens to give way more decimals than your own calculator will do, but I'm just going to write down some of them. And what I do is I will write it down right above the question, so the original question on my paper. So it's 5.81766917. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're going to clear that. We'll do the other side. So on the other side, 1.5 is 1.5 times bracket 310 divided by 133 minus 5 divided by 6 bracket. Now, you can't round 5 divided by 6, okay? You can't, like, if you know that that's whatever that is, I should probably know, but you can't round it. You can't round anything when you're checking your answers here, okay? You have to put the whole thing in. And then plus 18 divided by 7 equals a wildly different answer, 128 something. 128.24624. Now, it's worth actually re-entering both of those numbers in your calculator, because it's really easy to make mistakes with the calculator, and that's an easier mistake to find than a mistake that I might have made in my big long calculation. So maybe do it again okay? And I'm just gonna, yeah, so, okay. So when I did this before, I know that I didn't get 128 as my number, so I know that I made a mistake in my calculation, because I just did it again on my hand calculator, and I don't get 128, I get 4.817669, which is not the same answer. So somewhere I've made a mistake. So I need to go back to through my work and check all of my work to see where my mistake was. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it in a different color just so you can follow what I'm doing. So first thing, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Well, crap. My mistake was in the very, very first thing I wrote down. But I want to show you that because I did my work so neatly, I don't actually need to redo the entire question. Okay? What I can do is I can erase this 23 and replace it with 27. And then on the next line, I have a 23 here, which I'm going to replace with 27. And that means that I'm going to subtract 27 over 4 on this side and on the other side. Oops, erase 27 over 4. So these cancel out, and nothing else is going to change. This side down here, this is all going to stay the same because I've got that 27 over 4 doesn't affect anything over here anymore. So I need to change this 23 to 27 over 4. And then because my work was neat and I can follow down the page that this 18 over 7 became 72 over 28, and this 20, what was 23 over 4 became 161 over 28, I know that what I need to change is this 161. That is wrong. So it was 4 times 7, so 27 times 7 is 189. So this needs to be 189. Okay, and then this 124 is wrong because I got that by adding these numbers. So now I've got 72 minus 189 minus 35 is minus 152. And there might be a point where you decide, no, you know what, I'm just going to rewrite this whole thing, and that's completely legitimate. It's almost there because this is still negative here, but that's okay because I'm not changing that. I'm still going to make it plus because it's negative times negative. Okay. Now, you know what? I'm going to scribble this one out, and I'm going to scribble this one out. I am going to redo it from here. So does 152 divide by 14? Nope. 152 divided by 7? Nope. Okay, but it does divide by 2. So 152 divided by 2 is going to be 76 over, oh wait, I divided it by 2 here. So it's going to be 76. No, you know what? This is a little too confusing. I'm actually going to rewrite this one. This was 152 over 28. It's negative 152 over 28 times negative 10 over 19. Okay, but I didn't have to rewrite all of this. Okay, so you're going to make a judgment call on every question as to at what point you're going to erase the whole thing, or what part of it you're going to erase and restart. Okay, so 152 over 28, I can reduce that to negative 76 over 14 times negative 10 over 19. And the 14 can be divided by 2 to leave me with 7, and the 10 divided by 2 gets me 5. And does 76 divide by 19? It does. Yes, it does. So 19 divided by 19 is 1, and 76 divided by 19 is 4. And my minuses cancel out, and I end up with B equals 20 over 7, which is the correct answer. Okay, so I'm hoping there was something in there that was helpful for you. That's all I'm going to do on this question. Go do some practice work, and I will do a video showing the entire, working through all of the questions because I got the rest of them right the first time. So I'll just show you what I did. Um, there you go. Have a great day. Bye.